with the passage of time came a shift in the day and all of our interests. After correctly getting the cart position pushed back to town, eventually it came down to the more boring part of slow disassembly, explanation to some of the Galoins keeping watch, and then waiting and watching. We decided to start taking things apart, but at some point, Yaiyo had slipped off of Arkat to go look for their friend. I had wanted to come with them, but I had grown somewhat curious about how this contraption, or whatever Matatak was going to make, was going to turn out. So I decided to join them later. As we settled in and began the slow process of disassembly, well, they did. I sat and watched for the most part, taking note of the different conversations told and everything here. Wow. Nice. I think I've got all the screws at the bottom part, so the wheel shouldn't roll off on us now. That's good.
So what exactly are you using this for again?
Oh, you should see it. So this is already sort of a cart, but it has a bit of a problem that doesn't really move on its own. You have to push it. We just experience. I'm working on a cart that moves itself. Well, kind of. I thought it'd be pretty nice to have, just in case anything happened again with another attack. Because, like, imagine a cart that you could roll away and shoot back behind you as you move. That seems like it'd be pretty useful when you're getting run down by a bunch of boomies.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But I've been having a bit of trouble with it with all the stuff we had. That's why I needed a metal lever, because everything else just kind of breaks down too quick. The pulley system under here should work that keeps the wheels together. And, well, the ballista, they don't give us stuff like that. So that'll be nice.
How exactly are you planning on hiding it?
Oh, I've found a few places. I should be able to roll most parts of it away. I was thinking of stashing it. Maybe I can find a place deep down for it. I'm gonna peek around, do a little exploring. But for now, everything can, I noticed that Matatak had slipped away, as if he had started to shift over with a bit of intrigue in his voice as he stepped forward. I, however, would not be left out of such a momentous bit of gossip. As I leaped up, ran down, and launched myself forward, I wrapped around Matatak, almost conspiratorially. What you gonna say? What you gonna say? He seemed to jump for the moment there. Nothing. Oh, wow. No, maybe I could tell you too. Hang on, I was thinking of, so I've been sneaking down, down? Wait, how far down? Well, don't tell anybody this, but, I've been, sneaking down to the deep mines, There was a shift in attitude that I could feel in my presence. In general, I just sort of gave them a bit of a stern look in that moment. You're not serious, are you? Another tall tale? No, I'm being real. I've been down there to telepy. It was an interesting thought. He always did seem to slip away so suddenly. I'd assumed he was just a little extra skilled at sneaking, but if he was going down that deep, that was certainly unacceptable. Though, at the same time, I was more curious than anything. You're slipping down there?
Why?
Well, it's just kind of a matter of curiosity, I guess. And on top of that, there's nothing else we can really do. What? I'm just gonna go around wandering in places where all those dolls are, where all the Stroll walk around? I gotta find some place to go. Look, it sucks here. I hate being watched all the time. I just wanted to go somewhere else. And it's crazy down there. You won't believe it. Like, it's great for hiding stuff, too. Nobody goes down there anymore. I haven't seen any of the Lich's men there either. As long as you just don't go too deep, you know?
There's probably a reason they don't go that far.
I can take care of myself. Come on. I've just been... I interrupted him. It's more than taking care of yourself. It's about... Look, you're getting in trouble with everyone if you do that. Not just Batakanat, but then... well... I mean, the Lich is gone. So I doubt that'll happen. But if the Strom find out too, like, we can't go down there. Just... Though... I mean... What is down there? I mean, if you saw it. Well, you won't believe it. Crystals lining the wall as far as you can see, decorating down, glowing without any source of light. It's amazing. Crystals? Wait. Do you mean gem wall? Down there? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it kind of looked like the stuff. I guess they just haven't mined it all down there yet. Wow. Well, maybe you should take me down there sometime. We could take a look. I mean, just imagine how much we could sell off and all that. You know, do good for the village if we found out some stuff there. Yeah, don't you think?
What?
We could make it a trip together, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we could go down and just take a peek. Yeah.
And what happens when everyone asks where you got this gem wall?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could just check first, get it figured out. I can come up with a scheme. I'm pretty good at that. Maybe so. Hey, Gartrinus. Are you listening?
Oh, no. I was in the midst of handling the remains of looking at this and seeing if we could remove the weapon on top. I think it might be not to rain on your parade, but it would maybe not behoove us to have it obviously a weapon should Ganglion or any other members of the Lich's cohort come back here. So finding a way to hide that would probably be the priority.
That's definitely a good call. Yeah, sure thing. We were just chatting. You're new here, right?
Yes, I arrived yesterday, in fact.
Yes. So, have you ever read up about the deep mines? Did any of the letters talk about that? Huh? Did they? I checked over in Strayga's direction.
I remember putting something about it in my letters. Oh, I didn't know much about it other than it's a dangerous place. I don't think anyone should go.
Yes, I had heard as much. Apparently in the early days of human exploration, they tried to use explosives to see if they could mine things down there, and that didn't go very well for them. I took the opportunity to hold some knowledge close to my chest by distracting the circumstances about the ballista. I was able to keep under wraps how closely I had been listening to earlier in the conversation. I had a sneaking suspicion of why Etete was so enthusiastic about looking into that place more. Yeah, light on information, but I do know that it's dangerous and not even the humans speak favorably of exploring there.
Yeah, it is kind of bad. Look, I guess if we're just safe, we could maybe take a look sometime, Matatak, but just we'll be careful. But no, you're definitely right, Gartrinus. We should hide that ballista, and then we'll sneak it down later. Yeah, sure. Looking forward to going. Yeah, sure. Whew.
Well, now it's back here safely. I would say that any particular comments about it is between you and Batakanatat. So I suppose I'll leave you to that.
Yeah, sure thing. I moved back up to my perch, where I stepped back to the edge and just sort of sat down and watched. But, a bit to my own surprise, I noticed that Gartrinus had snuck up behind me almost. As I turned, well, hey there.
Hi. Enjoyed your adventure today?
Yeah, this was different.
It's funny. In 2 days, I have taken 2 trips into the dungeon, where, as I understand it, we don't really go down there at all. So, I suppose it was a different adventure for you, and it seems to have lifted your spirits a bit.
Yeah. We don't go to the dungeon just because it's not a fun place to be. After all, Galoins technically have the right to go almost anywhere in the cave. The Lich always used to say it was our given right as the first occupants. It's wrong on so many levels, but the worst part of it is if it's considered a right at all. After all, we don't really get to go anywhere we want to go.
It's strange. You're, I would say, supposed to feel safe in your own home, in your own neighborhood, but it's an unusual thought to feel that you are home and yet not safe, and not necessarily because of people who might be visiting you, but the place itself, the geography making itself not entirely welcome to you.
Yeah. Though, I don't want you to be mistaken. The geography has nothing to do with it. Have you really gotten to see much of the mountain? I guess you've got the inverse where you've just been in the dungeon for the longest time.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the mountain. It's big enough to be seen even from my hometown. I traveled a reasonable distance, but not very, very far away. But I didn't necessarily get to explore the lands surrounding it.
Oh. There's so much more to the mountain than just the outside. Let me think. Oh, there's a great account, actually. You're here for history, so why don't I tell you it?
Actually, that would be delightful. Thank you. I appreciate it. May I suppose, offer something in exchange?
All right, sure.
I brewed some earlier, and it ended up us not necessarily having the time to, so I have this. I produced a flask from my adventurous pack. While it seemed that not many people within the Goloan community drank tea, it was a strong enough flavor and at this point a well-steeped enough brew that even if it didn't have the bite of alcohol, it would still be a strong enough experience for the taste buds that Etete might still enjoy it.
Sure. Here, I'll take a drink. Hey, you! Why don't you join on in? Not much to keep watch for a second. It's time for a story. He seemed to turn. Looking at us for a moment, he stared directly at me specifically, and I could tell it was because it was me that he was looking as he did. No, I don't want to. Just keep watch. Let me know when you're done. A momentary lapse in my feeling. One that had begun to plague me for some time. Had begun to return to me. But I took a sip of that bitter tea, which had rested for so long, and I felt this calmness resonate down through my body for a moment. You know, that's really good.
Well, you're the first Goloan I've met that also appreciates the art of tea making. Although I would say that this is a little oversteeped.
Well, it's something I used to read a lot about. There was this great scholar who used to gather all sorts of teas from the jungle and make some for themselves. They're kind of a hero for me. They used to tell all these great stories and they're all recorded deep into these books. We don't have many of them nowadays, but the one I do have I cherish. For me, it's something like it's a bit more than a pastime or a job. I genuinely wanted to be the storyteller at first. And that's kind of what I wanted to give you. There's a bit of an account early on after we had been here for a while, but before things started to change. It's about the cave itself.
Okay. Well then, I'm all ears. I have nothing else to do today, and I am more than happy to listen to your story.
Well then, this one will be Matatak, No, hang on. I'll make it Sandatat for now because, we'll want to save a big group story for a group. And I don't want to spring something like that on you, so just me. Just listen closely, okay?
Before you start, use 2 words that I don't think I know.
Oh, yeah. You probably wouldn't really know that. There's this old method of storytelling. It's actually probably the oldest thing we have. We had it before the mountains, even. I think of all the Galoin traditions, the way we tell things to each other is one of the things that's closest down to here. I patted my chest a few times. So, to make it known, Sandatat is the word for one speaker. That's Datat, speaker, and San, one, together. And then Mendatat is the same thing. The tat is basically, it's voice, so speakers. And the men is many. So if you're telling a story where everyone is going to speak together and recount as individual people and journal holders, you're reading Mendatat, whereas Sandatat is the story told by one voice to everyone to listen.
Okay. Then I am ready and prepared for the Sandatat then.
So, yes. Okay. Well, let's begin. And I regaled him of stories that made me smile. In my hand I held a bow. I notched it, aimed forward, and fired. Yet another arrow, scattered down to the floor, swinging through the cave air, and impacted nothing but dirt. I took a moment, gazed at the pile of arrows that scattered on the floor, and I pulled out another one, pulling out the bow I had managed to acquire, notching another arrow, firing it. The string made its sound. The arrow flung through the air, and it scattered again and hit the floor. I took a moment to gaze at the bone that was once my hand, every individual joint losing so much more connectivity than it had before. I was worried throughout that time I had been traveling with them that perhaps this arm might never be fully usable again to its full extent. And it seems the night had confirmed that. I looked at it, feeling the limited amount of joint control I had. I sort of pondered on it for a moment. Unbeknownst to me and lost in my thought, 2 Galoins had begun to wander up.
I punctuated the silence by loudly proclaiming our arrival. Hey!
Huh? Oh. Hello.
We were looking everywhere for you. We thought you ran off into the dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh. No. As foolish as I was, it only took me to this moment to fully understand what I might have just done. Oh. Right. I see. My apologies. I'm not used to the caves. I don't sleep, and I believe my nightly archery practice has just turned into a full day.
Oh, that's a lot of arrows. Where'd you get all those arrows?
I stole them.
Oh, fair.
That's just it.
Fair enough.
Yes. You might want to come up.
Oh, of course. If there are any functional spares, Arkat, you could probably grab some.
Oh, yeah, that'd be helpful.
There isn't much in the way of functional arrowheads. I was using them because they weren't particularly good.
Oh, okay, fair.
I stood forward. I suppose I've been here for potentially 12 hours then?
Yeah, something close.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh. Weird. I can't sleep, by the way.
Right. Did you feel the passage of time for all those 12 hours, or did it all just pass by like a blur?
Well, it did pass like a blur, but I wouldn't say for any supernatural reasons.
Okay, that's good at the very least. Arkat, you said you discovered, well, we found a secret passage. We might have actually found the Lich's hoard.
My attention was dragged rather swiftly to that. What do you mean?
A room full of treasure and books, you said?
Yep, there was this red and white, beautiful looking palace with books and wealth.
And you're sure about this?
Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's unplundered.
That too, yes. If we were looking for some sort of... No, that is... I guess we didn't fully explore as deeply as we thought. But then again, I somewhat expected that. Seems we found the inner sanctum, I suppose, of the Lich.
Right.
I'll admit it was rather weird that the Lich proudly declared his inner sanctum was about a walk distance from the entrance.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had to... Wait a second, that is weird. Hold on.
Are you aware of this place previously?
No, it's just strange, right? Like, okay, say somebody was coming after you, and you thought that they had a good chance to, take your life. How would you get rid of pesky adventurers? Like, if you couldn't kill them outright because you weren't strong enough.
I would make a trap room, maybe, but also I would probably misdirect them.
Right. I folded my arms, suddenly realizing, yeah, it all didn't add up. Huh. Isn't it really convenient that the Lich just got wiped out a hallway away from the entrance? And that there are so many still functional things of the Liches? I raised my arms and wiggled them back and forward. What are the chances that he's still kicking around?
The thought did register with me. And, in fact, it was one I had started to believe myself. Though I was not present for the Lich's death, it did seem somewhat strange to me that upon awakening, there was a split, a belief of death and also a belief that the Lich would be returning any day. What I could previously push off as propaganda started to sound more like the truth. If the Lich is alive, in some way, then why is he waiting? What's the purpose of watching his machines break?
Maybe it's taking him some time to regenerate, or maybe those dolls that we've been interacting with contain segments of his essence or something. Like it's some contest to determine who becomes the new host. I don't know necromancy. I'm spitballing. A contest of which would be the most powerful amongst them. I have no idea. I shrugged, but I did think of something. I wanted your help with something. You mentioned before that whispers are grown? They're like natural organisms?
Yes. They're technically living entities. You grow them because they need quite a lot of nurturing to be able to shift to whatever purpose you need.
Could you show me how?
Well, we would need a whisper, and not one that's already imprinted.
See, the way I look at this, right now the Lich could be returning, could not be. But you have to admit it was mighty convenient that all that went down the way it did. The way I see it, I held out my staff, placing it on the ground, letting the skull simply sit there for a second. All the Lich's creations still respond incredibly clearly to his voice. It doesn't necessarily matter if he doesn't return, so long as there's somebody giving those orders, right? So, I was thinking, why don't we affect the Lich's return?
I see. You want to become a tyrant, then, is that it?
I want to effectively impersonate a tyrant, which superficially is probably identical to being a tyrant, sure.
We're gonna treat Gloins better, right?
Yeah. Also, for the record, I don't want to literally become the Lich. That's ridiculous. I want to use this to, I don't know, fix things. I'm gonna be honest. If the Lich has the power to command the dungeon like we theorize that he does, I've been thinking about all sorts of ways that we can improve things. Like filling in a ravine.
Yeah.
Yes, that level of infrastructure repair seems to be lacking currently.
So, I'm gonna be honest. I also think that the Lich is probably either had contingencies or is currently his own contingency. I don't think it'll last long, but at the very least, with little bits of power we can steal away, I think it's only a matter of time before somebody else does.
I think we are a little late to the game, because all the other dolls have been using whispers.
Right. Oh, Melanius, you're gonna love hearing about this doll. I quickly reported my experiences with the creature, as well as ganglions. Return.
Really?
Yeah, still alive.
I hate that.
Well, let him know next. Let Ganglion know next time so he can really feel.
Yeah, I hear he's very receptive to feedback.
I suppose he is, isn't he? I'll craft up a nice report for him then. Right. Then you said that there's a pathway and we can find our way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we still need so much more to know.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, extends hand. Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. I raised my hand forward, reaching, grasping onto Yaiyo's and shaking with her. A thought did run across my mind, but I quelled it. Could not speak and ask her the question I wished to ask. In this moment, staring at her and thinking about earlier that night, I still couldn't bring myself to talk to her directly, not about what was on my mind. So instead I shook, and I gave her that rehearsed smile that I had practiced so many times. Well then, I suppose it's time to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well then, let's go find what really lies beneath this mountain, huh? And as we went off, we regrouped with the others and prepared to once more delve deeper towards my original purpose. Within these caves, I had come not just to quell the lich, not just to claim the money and reward, but unlike Yaiyo, it was very much my intention when I first delved in here to become that lich. And the answers to do that had become ever so close.
They say it's been too long. It's so nice to see you. You're a good friend of mine. So long farewell, adieu. No, I can't believe, oh no, not words from thee, but said in facsimile, yearning for that distant we. So I'm searching for near eternity, but I don't know where I should be. Love of branch, no family tree, no friends I have to see. An unfriendly propensity is my natural state to take flight in perpetuity, and so echo back his own